I wasn't talking. I messaged in the I messaged in the Discord. Did you guys not see it? We're in a group with Honey. We've got everything we'll ever need. Where did that point come from? Okay, I can see the inside of your brain. I'm gonna sob. Yeah, we got the asylum over and over again last time. Yeah, we got it like 4 times last time, didn't we? I don't know. I feel like we did okay. Yeah, 2 people, absolutely not. That's way too big. Oh, there was a thing I wanted to try. Whoa. Huh? What? Yeah. Yeah. I've never done the campsite, I don't think. Or you know what? I might have done it once forever ago. I don't like that I can hear just ominous walking. Livy Roberts responds to, "We're unsure." It's okay, you'll get there. That's not what I was talking about, but okay. Oh, it's snowing. Oh, streams down too. 8 streams down too. Well, not down down, but it's no, it's got the I don't even know what the fuck screen that is, but if you look, you'll see. It's not good. Yes. That's actually an app description since it is cycling through blue and pink. Whoa. Stream is gone. People need to stop assuming people are talking when they're not talking. Yeah, we're technically in game already. Nothing. Yeah, it doesn't register as lost unless we leave it there or someone dies with it. I wonder what happened with 8. Oh, hello. That's funny. Oh my god, I got 260 bucks. Shit. What? Damn. I know, right? Crazy sick. Dang, hasn't restarted in a week? Sag. I have one. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Damn. Whoa. Huh? Listen for distant sounds? What does that mean? Beans. Oh, break her out. Blue blended toothpaste. Uh, lowest it's gotten is 37. Hey, do, do you have the voodoo doll? Aw, what a lad. Hmm. Okay, I pull up, hop out of the after party. Ooh. Oh, so sorry. Wee wee. Aw, real hard. Hey, Mr. Soul Sister. The fuck are you gonna do? Who threw a crucifix in here? Bye bye. I like that his head shakes. Oh, oh. Where do you think the ghost is, little dolly? Is the ghost in here? I think so too. Actually, I'm not sure. You know what? You tell me where you think the ghost is. Oh, he's singing. What a little singer. Fido, speak. No. I was making the doll speak. Conserve water, you asshole. Mr. Sampson, do you think we're close to getting the ghost? I thought so too. We found this doll. It made the ghost angry. Not a picture of the doll. Come on, Mr. Sampson. We're gonna go make some s'mores. I don't know what would ever give you that assumption. I would never. No. Come on, Mr. Sampson. Let's go. These people are being silly goofy, and we don't need to be near that. Okay, you're gonna sit right here. Alright? Hold on, if I can. There we go. Okay. You're gonna sit right there. Nope. That's not right. Nope. No. Here, let's. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Sampson. I did not mean to do that to you. Uh, good enough. Okay, let me get you your marshmallow stick. Here, you can get the twofer, okay? This one's yours. Yeah! Perfect. Alright, you got your marshmallows. I gotta get my marshmallows. You just stay right there, okay? Alright. I don't have anything to light the fire. Hold on. Okay, Mr. Sampson, you stay right here. I'm gonna be back. I have to go get, like, a lighter or something. There it is. Okay. I'm coming, Mr. Sampson. Okay, Mr. Sampson. I have the lighter for us, so maybe we can get this shit started. Um, I don't have. Oh, there we go. Yay. Okay. You ready, Mr. Sampson? I'm gonna put that there. Um, I don't. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's roast the marshmallows. Actually, you know what? I wonder. There we go. Okay, Miss Sampson, I'm gonna do you a huge favor and I'm gonna take your stick. Now I'm gonna prop it so you can also get some toasting. And now we wait. Do you want to sing the campfire song, Mr. Sampson, or do you want me to sing it? It's up to you, really. I don't mind either way, but you know. Well, okay. Um, you know what? Instead, I'm gonna play the guitar, Mr. Sampson. Here, I'm gonna create a song just for us, Mr. Sampson. All right? It's gonna Okay. Anyway, um, hmm. I gotta think of a good song. Whoa. Anyway, okay. Um, you know what? Here, you stay here, Mr. Sampson. I'll be right back. What? I was roasting marshmallows with Mr. Sampson. What? But Mr. Sampson wanted a marshmallow. Okay. I was gonna sing a song at the campfire with the guitar if you want to join. Yeah! Come on. Mr. Sampson's waiting. Okay. Yeah. See, our marshmallows are roasting. Hey, don't. Mr. Sampson does not like being manhandled. Oh, fire. Like this. In fire. Not particularly. What do we have? Freezing temp and fingerprints? I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. Smart. Honestly, I love that. That's hilarious. Perfect. Hell yeah. The blurry photo of the ghost and Mr. Sampson. It looks like Mr. Sampson's running away. Where? Oh, it looks like someone's knee. Ooh, Ridgeview Court. I don't remember the last time I've been to Ridgeview Court. That might have been with Levi and all of them a while back. I don't know. Dude, I thought I was gonna be back super quick. I had to go to the bathroom and then I leave the bathroom and my dog is losing her mind. And then, right after I calm her down, my eyes start watering and it burns. Harold? Harry! Oh, Harry's transgender. I love that. Harry's now Mary. 10 out of 10. Harry's now Mary. Mary's transgender. We do. Upstairs. What's upstairs? There's a ball. I like that ball. Ooh, this door's open a little bit. What's going on in here? Nothing. In the what? Oh, in here? No. Oh, there's a laptop. Oh, wait. No, it's not. I'm not seeing any freezing temps so far, so I'm gonna do EMF. This Mary Mac. What the fuck? Maybe you're not her type. I mean, it wouldn't really surprise me. Just tack it onto the list of issues. Pedophile, transphobe. Not to be dramatic, but I wanna die. This bitch got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist. And here I am all alone, all alone. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. Smoking out the window. Smoking out the window. I was wrong. Where is she? Ah. Phrasing. Damn. No. I'm s I'm sitting right here. Why did you think I did it? I'd have to turn around and go around the corner. Piano. Dun 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 dun. Dun-dun-dun. Oh, 5. EMF 5. EMF 5 and writing. Oh. It's a shade. Let's leave. We got EMF level 5 and we got ghostwriting. Started writing in the book. Yep. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. It is the only one without a head camera at the moment. Yeah, we want to watch. Oh. His fucking neck! His fucking neck! Oh my god! Yeah, his fucking neck got broken. That was so good. It doesn't show him in the void for me. It still shows him in the living room just staring at a couch. Oh, now his camera isn't even an option. Wow. Yeah. I only touch him when I'm at 20. I'm watching. It fully looked like Clem just like danced in front of the camera and left. Dude, we're getting some grade A shit tonight. Fucking watched watched Eight's head break off his neck. Oh, 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 oh. Eight, please calm down. Your cup is losing its mind. Oh my god. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Whee! Oh god. Oh, his head. So bad. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Eight. I want to sit. This one? Oh shit, yeah. We've got like we've got cursive and then we've got angry scribbles. Oh, yeah. Woo! Come on, Eight. Yeah. Thank you. I'm typing. Yeah, we could totally get that. Looks like he turned off the lights. Thank you, Shauna Later, for the follow. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the crew, and thank you for the raid. Hell yeah. We're playing some Phasmophobia with creative underscore Tinfin101 and the honey system right now. We've already figured out the ghost. We're just trying to get the like objectives done. Um, Let me see what we've got so far. We got gain average sanity below 25%. We're trying to get the motion sensor, and we could have gotten a photo of the ghost. 8 died. When 8 died, we were watching through the window, and we easily could have gotten it, but we missed. It happens. What is beeping? Also, whose light is this, and why is it just chilling here? Oh, that's cool. Oh, duh, the motion sensor. I'm a little silly goofy. Don't mind me. If the I can't see it, I just see the living room, and then a large portion of it is fucking sticky note. I'm very happy that you pronounced the name right. Most people don't, but you're welcome. Have a great night and enjoy your stream. Thank you. Have a great night yourself. I hope your stream went well. But that surprises me that a lot of people don't get the name right. It feels very like obvious to me, but the superior sensor. Now we just need a photo of the ghost. Who the fuck put a fork here? Here, hey, take this cup. We could have gotten one earlier when we saw 8 die, because the ghost was there, but missed opportunity. Oh, it can't? Oh, damn, you're setting up like a whole dinner table over here. Perfect. Here, let's fix the fork. Okay. Hey, go look for like an apple or something. See if there's some food in the house. Mmm. Yummy. Wow. That's a that's a 5-star meal. That's Michelin. It just screams at the motion sensor. Hey! Here. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Give us some tea. Yeah, pour some tea. Thank you so much. Mmm, tasty. Oh, nom nom. It's eaten. It's eaten. You fucking gremlin. Woo. Whoa, 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 whoa. I love these songs. Wasn't there a bone? How do we not have bone evidence? I thought we had a bone. Camp Woodwind. That's cool. Whoa! We can roleplay high school. Perfect. I'll be the teacher. Who wants to be the principal? A queer. Hey, ready up. Hey, ready up, you motherfucker. Yeah. Tanglewood Drive. Where it all began. Our first reports of the paranormal came from here. It's only small, but it holds more secrets than meets the eye. If you say so, Buster. Oh my god. Like Moon Knight, but fucking weird. Nancy. Don't don't roar at me ever again. I'm gonna jump off of a very tall height. What is that? Oh, it's a ball cap. This is a decent closet. I wish I had this closet. I want this room. They've got a fucking walk-in closet and a bathroom to themselves. Are you kidding me? Literally. I'll deal with the ghost if I can just fucking live in this house. Who wants to go swimming? Oh, who the fuck is this monocled man? Who's this guy? Who's taking a shower? Oh, it's the TV. I don't think it's working. What show is that? Ooh. There is a summoning circle here. Is there a bone at every map? Because if so, I don't think we've found one here yet. Granted, there's not a lot of space to look, but... He turned off the TV. He's a solid 10. Oh! Yeah. He doesn't like this photo. This particular dog photo he dislikes a lot. Man threw it in the corner and then proceeded to try to throw it again. Please say yes. What? Oh! More TV? Oh. That sounded like a growl. I didn't like that. What? So yeah. I threw the one over there. Did he touch it again? I don't know how it landed. I know he threw this one though, because I was watching and he tried to chuck it. Oh God, your neck. Honey's neck was just very wrong. So it's like you've got like a really bad hunchback. So your head is just like way forward. Hey bestie, what's with you and this dog? Goodbye. Damn. I think I ran right into him. The basement. Dun dun dun. Dude, I tried to run away from the ghost too, and he was having none of it. Oh God. Yeah, I was out in the open when Honey said to hide. So I booked it because I was like, "Oh, if he's in the living room, I don't want to be in the living room." So I ran down the hallway right into him. I didn't even have anything out either. I just accidentally ran into him. Like he wouldn't have found me otherwise. I don't know if they're gonna find fingerprints either because I was looking around the living room and I didn't see any. Unless he's not in the living room. It's standing. Hell yeah. No, this is I think a family photo. Oh, I should get the dog photo. Okay. Where's the dog photo? Don't close the door. I gotta bring you the dog photo. They were touching. Whoa. That's not twins, that's triplets. Oh my. That's kind of obnoxious. We could have gotten the twins almost immediately. Because we had freezing temps, Spirit Box and EMF level 5. Like, the answer was there. Well, at one point we were like, oh, it might be one of these three. Yeah. 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 My fucking photo won't go right. Hold on. I'm gonna. Eh. What the fuck? Eh. Eh. I have no idea. Oh. Oh my gosh, I just looked over and two more photos appeared. Neither of them of the ghost. We should leave. If they want to get a photo, they should use if they want to get a photo, they should use the summoning circle. More of the team. We have to go. Oh. Oh my god. I love this story that's appearing on the fucking board. I have no idea. That literally makes no sense. It's just a photo of someone's partial body. Did they did it register it being every single one of them? Oh, yeah. Let's go. Yes, exactly. Two of the same body and it just counted it as three. No! I want to watch. I'm upset. I'm sad. What the fuck? Level up. I have 642. Yep. Voog ball. Mr. Sampson. Mr. Sampson. Run. Mr. Sampson. Mr. Sampson. Mr. Sampson, please. You gotta get out. Mommy. Oh, Jesus. 13 Willow Street, a newly built home in an established area. Reports say it was built on top of something unearthly. Is it a fucking Native American burial ground? Because we always do that shit, and it's fucking dumb. We need to learn from our mistakes, white people. God damn it. Bunch of dumbasses. Ooh, go off. Go crazy. Go stupid, dog. Sean! Sharn. Sharn. Yar, Sharn. Let's go say hi to Sharn. Nixie Ruthers Co. Ow. Guys, stop fucking with the car. Beep beep. That was the cutest little beep beep. Skull! Anyone have the camera? Oh, I got hiccups. Oh, radiator. Radiator Springs. Oh, that's the basement. I don't know if I want to go down there. Okay. Oh. No, we have to get a photo of it first. It's upstairs. 8 was getting the camera. Oh, this is a good hiding spot if it happens to be down here. I love that the maps now have little hiding areas for us. Hello, did you get a photo of the skull? Yeah, did you pick it up? You did, good. 8 picked it up. We think it's in the garage. I like the beep beep. Bet you can't find me. Daddy. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Paint thinner. Glug glug. Why? Oh, 5. Up. Oh no. It's a ghost child. Out for our ankles. Run. Tell me what? What about a monkey's paw? Go shawty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a cardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck 'cause it's your birthday. Hey, you know we don't give a fuck 'cause it's your birthday. We're not inside, so it probably won't trigger. Ooh, a telescope. I want to see the moon. Wow. I want to make love to the moon. Why? The moon's sexy. Hot damn, Zooey mama. Whee! Burn the candles. I want to set this house on fire. Oh, there's a coffee cup. If I die, I'm gonna be the coffee cup in the living room. Just saying. I now love that coffee cup. Oh, you know what? Mood lighting. Are there any more candles? Okay. I was setting up mood lighting. What did we get so far? EMF dots. Oh, it's a 10 in there. Yep. Yeah, we got EMF 05, dots, and spirit box. I'm gonna date the ghost. I'm gonna date the ghost. I'm gonna give it a big smoochy smoochy. No. Put that. There we go. Yay, it blew out my candle. Oh boy. That's no good. Yes. What? Yeah. Have him chase me. Okay. Yep. I wish the ghost to do something. I like those tag moves. Don't like the majority of the wishes make him hunt. That's what I saw last time we looked it up. I'm gonna caress you with the monkey's paw. Your turn to be caressed. Okay, now your turn. What? Okay. Oh, I I chucked the monkey's paw. Eight likes being weird. It's okay. Ooh, look at all these books. And a lot of them are the same. The dev said we can't be bothered. So when I say it, someone has to be in there with a smudge stick ready. Yeah. I'm a bee, I'm a bee, I'm a bee. I'm a bee, 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 I'm a bee. Ooh, wah, ah, ah, ah. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, I'm ready for a good fucking fuck time. If you guys want to watch, I've got my head cam on. Fucking time, time to get some fucking time. What's this? Oh, the old smudge stick. Fucking time. I don't like anything about what just occurred. Hey, no! Your neck! Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! We didn't even say anything. We walked in, the monkey's paw flexed its fingers, and then we started being hunted, so we both hid in the corner, and it just looks at me and goes, "Oh, sorry," and it starts fucking dying. Ugh. Its neck has been broken again. I'll do it. Yip yip. Yay. Bone. Bone. Literally, they're going out of their way to snap your neck every time. Oh my god! Oh my god, read me my fortune! Okay. Fuck! I was playing Jenga. That's how you play. I know. I didn't mean to. I just took the wrong block. You don't know my life, Mom. Shut up. You're bad at Jenga. You're bad at Jenga. I have never lost in my entire life. No. Pending. Megan Manson. Any relation to Marilyn? What? 22. I'm gonna turn. I have to do that song when I turn 22. I'm turning 22 this year. That's perfect. Every year I've found the perfect song after the fact, and it doesn't feel right. Eight. Remember this place? Remember when it snapped your neck? I'm just talking about. You would never have my home address. I would never ever give it out ever. I'm a truther, motherfucker. Oh, bone. I godded it. It was a spine. Ooga booga. There's a safe, guys. How do we get in? I thought you were the resident safe cracker. You're failing me. You're failing this class. Goodbye. You, what the fuck is this dirty rag? I'm gonna scream. Clean up after yourself, nasty. I haven't touched a single light in my entire life. I live in the darkness. I am Batman. Yummy! Okay, I pull up. I'm at the after party. You ain't all your friends, you then never get on. There's a big ass pallet. Oh my god, there's a. No, that's a big ass pallet. I am taller than most pallets. I am shorter than that pallet. You are a pallet. What? What's this? Ooh, you're turning on the lights. I'm gonna go tell Honey. Meow. Ask him if he's gonna cook us a meal. Where? I want to step on it. I don't see a knife. I think they're delusional. There isn't a knife there. There isn't. Am am I the delusional one? Oh no! I just heard a door. Make me coffee. Make me coffee. Oh, whoa. Moody. I'm gonna take a shower. Why? Don't come in here while I'm showering. I can take a shower in their house if I want to. They're paying me to do this. Rub-a-dub-dub. Dub in the tub. Rub-a-dub-dub-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub-a-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub. Ah, fuck, I got soap in my eye! Ow. I'm done with this shower. I got fucking soap in my eye. Come on down to the Olive Garden. Oh! EMF level 5. Come on down to the Olive Garden and get your free breast sticks. What'd he say? Come on down to the Olive Garden and get your free breast sticks. Come on down to the Olive Garden and get your free breast sticks. I wanna go ho, whoa, 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 whoa. I wanna go home. So you got EMF level 5. Oh, nice. Oh, my photos are so good. I'm so happy with myself. I'm going back inside. I didn't see the ghost when it appeared. I can't take a photo of something I can't see. You're expecting too much of me. He threw a plate! That plate right there. Well, you're gonna hear from me, because I have a lot of things to say. You're gonna keep hearing it. Don't touch my dog. Oh shit. That is a... Is the crucifix broken? Yeah. Like, look, one of the like clover looking parts of the thing is broken off. Make sure to look at the shit it's thrown, like the plate and also the doors. Oh my god, the painting! It took down the painting. What painting is this? Bah. Ooh, ah. It was. It just stood there and then left. Yeah, finally proof of the ghost. We got it. Oh, we got two photos of it. Love that. Okay. So it's Jin, Goryo, Obaki, and Myling. One of those. It was fucking one of them. What? Hot. What's your name? Where are you? What do you want? How old are you? Hello. Drugs. What's your name? Where are you? How old are you? What do you want? Finn. Honestly, I expected that. They had their light on. Nothing from the spirit box. It killed my teammate. We should leave. I don't know about you, but we should leave. Oh, you should eat some pills. Yeah, yeah, just a little crazy. Okay. So I don't think it's spirit box, but that doesn't really knock out any possibilities. No. Did we get dots at any point? We don't have ghost writing. No freezing temps. Oh shit. Throw it toward the tools if you know something. Throw it toward the photos if you don't. You know something. Fuck. Okay. But did we get dots protector, I'm assuming? Middle. Maybe. Is that a maybe? Okay. Thank you, Finn. Yeah, fuck the ghost. Go for it. Man made a lot of stops all over the world. And in every home, I open my heart to at least one lovely girl. Bump, bump. I'm a pretty senorita. Whoa. Oh, my sweet Fräulein down in Germantown makes my heart start to yearn. Do we get dots? Was that dots? I'm not asking you. I'm asking our inside man. Ooh, average sanity below 25. Let's go. Somebody go in there and risk your life. All right, Finn, did we get dots? No? Okay. I couldn't tell for sure. Truth be told, I don't know what dots look like, but that's just me. Oh, the motion sensor is going off. What's up, Finn? You doing that just for fun? Or Clem, you doing that just for fun, or do you know something? Yeah, just for fun? Okay. I love that the plate that she threw is very front and center. Like, she wanted us to see that fucking plate no matter what. Uh, I think this one was out of photos, right? Oh no, one more. Okay. I was gonna chuck it, but if we've got one more photo, then I'll keep it. Do we get anything? Hmm. Yeah, I saw that earlier. That is dots? Okay. Gorgo. No, it's Gorgo now. Got it. Note to self, only see Gorgons on dots. We good? Okay. Let's go home. Yeah, what purpose does that serve? Word. More Jenga! Oh, wait. Jenga, Jenga, Jenga! We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. You have no evidence to prove I did it. This building is a real history of death. Who sold the building to claim its next victims? Question mark. Whoa! James Marriott of Marriott Hotels? James Marriott of the Marriott Hotels? James Merriam. Bone! I got your camera. Hello. Anyone taking a dookie in the bathroom? Huh. What? Delulu? Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. Ah! 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 Oh, don't flash me. And I'm so sorry. Ew. Ew. Finn. I was literally hiding and I just look over and I see someone's light on and I'm like, oh, that person's gonna die. And they did, in fact, die. Your mom. Monkey! What's your name? Where are you? Move an object if you're in here. How did you die? How old are you? No. How does it feel to be a big old bitch? What's your name? How'd you die? Wah! Oh, whoa, whoa, she's a lady. Talking about that little lady. But the lady is mine. I don't think so. Yeah, give me some vlog footage. Ow! I stabbed my thumb with a pencil. What a menace. Move. Can we not get this one? Oh, it's because it's the fucking sink. There we go. Play some Mozart. That sounds like a you problem. I demand Mozart. Play guitar then. Yummy. Uh-oh. Is it 8? Oh, yeah, it's gotta be Finn. Oh, we got our average sanity. Oh wait, where did I'm gonna get Finn's body photo. I don't know where Finn died though. Not in the kitchen. I thought it ran downstairs, but I don't know. All of this money. I love this room in particular is like glitching out like crazy. I don't know what's going on there. Here. Oh, cool. Gotta make sure that he gets that insurance. If there's a recording button on here, why don't we just use these same cameras for recording? I got a photo of your body. Ooh, shit. Soon. Oh, jeez. Oh, he threw the ball. Because the ball was upstairs, unless someone else threw the ball. Well, I swear I heard him. The crucifix got destroyed. I don't have the other one. I'm gonna leave. EMF level 5 confirmed. Yep. Assault him! They always go after that one little nub. Poor nub. What'd the nub ever do to you, James Marriott? Oh! Do it again, motherfucker! You won't! You won't, James Marriott! You won't! James Mariachi Band. Is he humming? Eight's gone. Eight goes, oh, that's not nice, and then gets choked out. Oh my fucking god. Thank you, Eight. That was beautiful. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, I would have said I thought you were American. Okay. Oh, look at all the photos I took. They look so good. The ghost stepped in salt. It's getting really angry now. Yeah. Say it can't be a wraith? Okay. I don't know. What do we have so far for evidence? Okay. Okay, I get the book. Mm-hmm. I know this one decently well just because of the whole Harold thing. Well, Harold became Mary, but that's all I know. Oh, and is a pedophile. No, get out. Oh, poor Eight. Every time with the neck. Every time. Nope, I'm alive. Did you hear him? Hot. Okay. Why the fuck does this body have 2 stars instead of 3? Fuck you. That was a beautiful photo. Yeah. I'll come in. Oh yeah, he threw a tube of toothpaste. Mm. No, it's like low 40s in there. What? Yeah. It's like 48 in here. 47. Oh, never mind. It's going higher. It's not freezing. Oh. I keep hearing a door. Okay. I ran right fucking into him. Are you kidding me? That's obnoxious. Oh, he's so nasty! Ew! Ew, he's so gross. What? Okay. I ran right fucking into him. That was so obnoxious. No! 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 Guys, let us in! Guys! Please! No! Uh. Mm-hmm. 8, your turn. Fucking fine, I'll take more. Shut up. Your turn. I did nothing. No, I'm not. It was starting to fall before you did it. It's already fallen. Look at that. You did that. I wasn't even up here. True siblings, just fucking bullying the shit out of each other. This cozy house turned into something much more than a home for the living. What's that? Airbnb? Oh, that was terrifying. That was like a fucking edit. I don't even know what that was. Peanut butter, Mike. What the fuck? Peanut butter. Where's the jelly? Yippee! I want to get one of those huge beanbag chairs. Cock! Oh! EMF level 2. I think he kisses men. Hot. Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. I want to look for the bone. Where's the bone? Jay Robinson, would you like some fuck? I got the bone. In my mouth now. Nom 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 nom. Yummy. This is... Aw, the little wastebasket. That's cute. Lick me on the cheek if you're here. Yep. Oh, I just got a great view of your ass. Let the bank rob the people so the people rob the bank. I'm such a good photo taker. I should be hired. It's funny I say that because I'm recording a wedding on Saturday. Ghost orb! Ghost orb! Did it say, did it say old? Spirit box! Yeah. Are you my mom? Boo. No, too. I'm now in Clem's ass. The three? Oh, three ghosts. Hey, Systolic, how you doing? Welcome in. I'm dead. That's not bad. That's not bad, though. What are you guys doing? That's not bad. Do they... They're not acknowledging me. Do they even see my can of spray paint? Guys, please. I'm dead. I need acknowledgement. Guys. Please. Oh, good night, Mother Creative. What can I throw something up here? Oh, I like those boots. Guys, please. Acknowledge me. I'm dead. Is this how actual ghosts feel? Yay! I gotta stay on their asses. I don't want to be left again. I'm so sad too because the only reason he got me is because I didn't fucking hide fast enough. I didn't get in there Oh, I didn't get in there fast enough. And what about it? We didn't get that. Oh, actual motion detector? That doesn't fucking matter. Ben! I'm not being left behind this time. I'm staying right on their fucking asses. No! 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 No, please! 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 Where's my spray can? Please! No! Aid, please! Aid, please! Hey! I'm gonna get fucking new spray can, you bitch. Oh. uh, Eight's dying remarks are always so good. I want to take this photo. This really old photo. Hi, Eight. You can get out of the house now, said to the dead man. Fuck, I gotta find... What the fuck? Why can't I find anything to pick up? Dude, your dying remarks have been amazing so far. Dead equals bilingual to 8. Good to know. Can I? Oh, I can't pick up anything. Why can't I pick up shit? Yes. Just have the ghosts fucking leave with the van. Oh my god. Oh shit, I wrote in both of them. Oh, I can't pick up the cock. No. Oh, are they talking about me? It looks so juicy. What the fuck? Literally dummy thick. Holy shit. I love that the photo of my dead body isn't even actually my body, and then your photo isn't counted, but it is your dead body. I don't have anything to throw. I can't tell them. 8, pick up your cup. I tried! I'm so genuinely upset I can't pick things up. I'm glad I'm dead. Oh, I didn't even tell you, A. When you took my thing, I 100% screeched. When you took my spray can, when you took my spray can and were like, "Oh, you're not getting this back." I screeched and ran after you. Between this stream and the last stream, it's gonna be great. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Whoa. Yeah, you took a whole level in one go. Oh, that wasn't even me this time. Ooh, jail. I like jail. Jail time. Jail, 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 jail. I want to drop the soap. Jail. I timed that so perfectly they couldn't even respond. Recently closed due to some unexplainable deaths, this facility now imprisons the paranormal. Oh, that fell. Anthony Padilla. It's because he left Smosh for a second time. No. Whoa, guys. If you have any piercings, take them out. Voodoo doll, move! Okay, you can dig it now. I love that that's in the confiscated area. That's so amazing. The voodoo doll. Yeah, I sure hope it does. Yeah. Ooh, stairs. Chief Security Officer. What does it say on the clipboard? Oh, it's like an intake form. That's cool. Holy shit! Those aren't for hands. Those are definitely for fucking necks, bro. they they just fucking handcuff a person's neck to another person's neck. You'd have to be so close. Imagine bathrooms. If I die, I'm gonna attempt to be a coffee cup. Okay, I'll dig a snippy snip. What kind of bone is it? Ooh, that's especially slurpable. In the warden's office, warden, you have some shit to tell us. Steals your pelvis. Did you hear? Did you hear us talking about these fucking handcuffs? We were we were literally saying they're definitely not used for hands. They're fucking used for necks. You just handcuff your neck to another neck. And then we were like, wait, what about bathroom visits? Like, how shitty would that be? Really? No one in the jail cells? That's upsetting. Infirmary? Who died in here? Oh, I want to take the wet floor sign. Motherfucker. You motherfucker! Say that shit to my face! I can't. I don't know where you are. Ooh, perfect. V8. There's also this locker right here. What? Okay. Oh. Wait, do it again, do it again. Oh my god. uh Aw, not the dog. What the dog doing? Oh, whoa! How do you get down there? I want to get down there. Guys, where'd you go? Uh-oh. I don't want to be alone. Hey. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Bum 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 bum. Give him two lips like roses and clovers, and tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Dun 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 dun. Don't have nobody to call my own. Dun 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 dun. It's the shout. Is that soap? Soap. Keep hands in plain view at all times. Oh, they can't jack off in here. They're in prison and they can't even jack off? What the fuck? Shit. Ooh, cell block A. Oh. What kind? Is it like a dirt block or... But... Like... Oh. Whoa. Oh, thank God. Hello. Yeah. Ew, it's drippy. Grody. What's up here? What's his book? Oh, he's got an electric toothbrush. Oh, wait, and this one has the toothpaste. Do you think they have to, like, combine their powers to be able to brush their teeth? Oh, this one's got a pink toothbrush. Good for you. Oh, this one's got both. This one doesn't have to team up. No teamwork here. Any spirits wanna fuck? Oh, no wonder it's drippy. There's no fucking window. It's just great. What the fuck? Oh my god, imagine how cold it must be in here. Oh, who did that? Ooh, books. They can read. They're literate. Hey. How are you doing? I don't think so. Push bar to open. Put. Nope. What? Is there a way to go around? Oh, this one's not open. Let's open this one. Oh, he's got a notebook. Sounds like it. Are you playing with your buttons? In there. That's so... I love these. I love these lighting controls. Yeah! Are we gonna fight out back? Oh, okay. Yeah. We... While we thought it was hunting, we didn't even attempt to shut up. Oh, we gotta find a ball! Oh, we can get massive gains. Look at this. This courtyard is so big. I know. What cell block is this? Oh! 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 It's freezing. We got freezing temps. Uh... Cell block B. Yeah, we were pretty loud in cell block A, so we didn't think it was over there, and now we're over in cell block B, and it's immediate freezing temps. What's up? There's a thing? What? Oh, yeah. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There it is. Damn. I should have hidden one of the cells. That would have been smart. Okay, where's 8? Okay, I gotta follow 8. I can't leave 8, because if I leave 8, I'm gonna be fucking lost. They better get a photo of my body. I want my fucking insurance. At least I did something for the group. At least I got our freezing temps before I died. That's something. I'll take it. I'll consider it a win. I love that it didn't like us playing with the lotion either. As soon as 8 picked up the lotion, it started hunting. It didn't like the fact that we were catching on to its recreational activities, aka jerking off. We're not listening to Lord Huron right now. Well, we're not nearby, so it's alright. Ooh, Boys to Men. Can he even hunt in this entire place, or does it just stay in cell block B? Oh shit. Yes. Perfect, I have a coffee cup. Take a photo of my body. Take a photo of my body. Take a photo of my body. Photo of my body. Photo of my Take a photo of my body. Take a photo of my body. Take a photo of my body. I'm upset. Look at my photos. Take a photo of my body. What was that? Oh, it's pills. Take a photo of my body. Thank you. I love my photos. There's 8 and then Finn. Although I wasn't close enough to Finn to have it like look really good. I can't see anything on the screen. I want to watch my show. Oh, wait. Fuck. What the fuck? Yes, yes. I'm not hunched over breathing, you bitch. No. Fucker. No! Hey, no! Hey, please! Please give me my coffee cup back! Please! Hey, no, 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 my coffee cup! Hey, please! No! Hey! Oh! Fucker! What the fuck? I have a Zaboomafoo. Hearing Helper 2. Session 46, folder 1 of 1. Damn, that shit's been going for 18 minutes. Shit. I don't like that I heard the fence rattling. Oh! Yeah. Oh god. Ah. Guys, my body. Oh shit, yeah. What saps sanity? I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Yeah! Someone take a camera! Guys, camera! Okay. Okay. Where's 8? Oh, there's 8. 8's way ahead of everybody. I think we're too far away for it to do anything, though. 8 could not care less. 8 is still fucking going. It's like hunting. We don't know her. Is this the entrance to cell block B? Oh, Jesus. I love that 8 hates it when the ghosts throw shit. Especially me. Does 8 even know where I died? Whatever you do. Ah, yawn. Big yawn. Wait, please. You probably don't even have the camera. Awesome. Okay, we got ghost writing as well. So it's Demon, Revenant. Oh my god, it might actually be the Demon. That's so funny. Demon, Revenant, Shade, or Moroi. H just sat there and took it, bro. You just stood there and took it, damn. Oh, they didn't even get a photo of your body. You're not gonna get your insurance. Yes, yes. Oh, shit! Run! Guys, go! Oh, that dude's fast. That fucker's fast. Oh. Oh, God. He's fast. I didn't see him when he killed me, but he was fast both times he killed you guys. Where's he going? I have my cup. If you guys tell me where to go, I can lead him. Yeah, food tray. Oh, I didn't see it. Run! Nope. 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 There we go. She's a little lost, but she'll get there. Oh, no. It's running out to the van. Rain. Is it raining? Oh, we're dead. I can't tell if it's raining. I like that it doesn't rain in the ghost realm. We out. Personally, I feel like it might be a Revenant because it's kind of fast, but I didn't want to say anything. I'm ready. Yeah, farmhouse! Let's go! And this is gonna be my last game. Because it's getting close to 11, and it'll probably be 11 by the time we finish. And I don't want to be up past, like, midnight tonight, because I've been sleeping like shit. I have so many notifications. Why? Acre? Elizabeth. Be careful, I'm gonna fuck your mom. Mm-hmm. Oddly, I really like taking photos. I don't know why. The kitchen. Oh, I too put my axe on the kitchen table. Oh, there it is. Breaker, breaker. Wow, 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 wow. Yep. I think one time I almost shit on the fact that one of these houses had a spare mattress in there, and I was like, oh, wait, no, that's what we do. We don't get rid of the mattress, we keep it. Oh, is that a dog bowl or is that frisbee? I hope that's dog bowl. Whap. Oh, let's see. Oh, yes, I love this spot. Yes, we'll hide here together. No matter where we are in the house, we'll just run here. Hmm, that's a good point. You can see like the individual wings. I, truth be told, have not been paying attention to the temperatures very much, but I don't think we have had freezing yet. Oh, broken mirror. It's spooky season! Oh, oh, I got hiccups. There's so many axes. Who needs this many fucking axes? Nothing yet. I have to look through the house again because I was more looking for bones. Wait. Hey, what's up? Hello! Oh, there goes the breaker. We haven't seen a bone yet, have we? Can I? I wish you could open up the fridge. Oh. Note to self, there is a ball in this room. Ooh. Oh, 1968 calendar. Wow. Oh, found the Ouija board. Woo! Oh my god. Everybody's dead. uh, okay. Okay. There we go. Um, I don't think so. Not that I was told. The the storage room? Okay. I don't think I got any freezing temps in there. Get that shit out of here. Okay. Thank you. Okay, calm down. Was it? Shit. Do you know where Finn died? Hmm. I know you don't like it in here. Would you prefer if I talked to it alone? Oh, okay. I heard it. I heard it fuck with the door. Okay. Is that all we have so far? Okay. Oh, does seeing its body on the camera mean that that's dots? Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I saw dots then. Do you know something? Yep. Okay. Yeah, if it's the book, then just throw it at throw it at Honey. Oh, no, not the book. Okay. Woo! Lego my ego. Así es la vida. Side out. Living la vida loca. Oh, Jesus. They burned the crucifix a little bit. What are you throwing at? Where are you? How old are you? What's your name? How'd you die? Oh, stop doing that. What do you want? Are you French? Parlez-vous français? No, 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 no. Wow. Holy shit. What the fuck's wrong with your face? Do you even have a face? Okay, I gotta find object. I wanted to get the ball, but I don't know where the ball is. Okay, I got a plate. Hi, guys. Whose mic is like that? That hurts. Oh my god, they can hear you. Yeah. Wait, the banshee sings, doesn't it? Yeah. I swore I heard singing earlier. So it probably is the banshee. Yeah. Did 8 go and get an item? And he's just pacing. Oh no, the teacher, I'll wait. There we go. Yeah, throw it a little bit closer. I don't know if they saw. There we go. And a plate. That's cute, actually. Marco.